right. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Audrey. Welcome to my live stream. Oh, that's Rocket right over there. I don't know why he's sitting there, but he's just chilling. Meh. Yeah, hello, hello. In case you see me, glancing over this way, I just have another screen with chat open. So yeah, I just want to keep an eye on that. Hello, Martel. Hello, Linda. So glad you guys are here. Yeah, if you're new here, please make sure to say hi. If you're shy, I totally understand, but I really appreciate you being here and checking in live. This whole month, I kind of gave you guys a preview last week, but this whole month is going to be about, just doing hard things. So I've been putting off acrylic gouache for the longest time. And for those of you that have been following me for a while, and you know my hangups about it, like, yeah, yeah. I have my own hangups and I'll talk about those later. But today, or not today, but in the last couple weeks, I realized like, hey, I got to practice what I preach, like if I'm telling other people to try new things and to try hard things, I need to take my own advice, So, many years ago, okay, like 3 years ago, I did buy the acrylic gouache set. And I don't know why I did. I think I just thought, oh, that'll be cool to learn one day, And so this has been like, it's pristine. Like I haven't even touched it. I haven't even like picked it up. Like that's how untouched it's been. And then of course, because I'm a little delulu, I decided to get some more bottles or not bottles, tubes. I did decide to get the primary set though, because it didn't have there are primary colors in the primaries, or there are primary colors in this general like color 12 color set. There are, but it didn't have magenta. Like it has carmine and it has scarlet. So it's a cool red and a warm red. But when I do my color mixing, sometimes I like to use magenta. So this 5 primary color set does have all the primary colors, including magenta. And then it has yellow, cyan, and then of course white and black. So I definitely want to do a color wheel. I might not have time to do that today, so I'll probably have to do that next week. But today I wanted to swatch all of my colors because that's just the best way to kind of overcome my fear, or not fear, fear, overcome just my hesitation, my fears about it. So I cut all these little small pieces of paper. This is like 2 by 2 3/4. And I hope I cut enough, hopefully. And I have so many more colors, you guys. Again, I'm a little delusional. But I did buy some more green colors that are more my aesthetic. So I got this like sage color, this like eucalyptus color, and like a light, what is this color? Misty green. Ooh, I really like that. Yeah, so I got these 3 colors as well because I realized with acrylic gouache, because it dries and or it's water resistant after it's dried, right? So that means I can't reactivate it like I can with watercolors and gouache. So that means that any colors that I pre-mixed, I have to either use it all up or I have to mix a huge amount and then again, like use it all up, right? So I can't rely on being able to mix the same color again. So I hope, other acrylic gouache artists out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like with acrylic gouache, more is actually more. Whereas with watercolors, less is more, right? Because you can always mix colors like over and over again without fear that it's going to be permanently gone, right? Oh, hi, Racket. Yeah, so that's why I got these colors, because I felt like even if I try to mix these greens, it might not be the same the next time I try to mix it. Anyway, maybe I'm just justifying, maybe I'm delusional. So the other thing that I decided to do was also get the pastel set, again, for the same reason why I thought that you know, mixing colors would be difficult. So they have this beautiful set of 12 colors, 12 pastel colors. Oh, and it came with a little brochure. Those are always really helpful. Just look at those. Isn't that like perfect for spring too? Like, come on. Now I know I can just take these colors here, add white, and I can get these pastel colors. So I would argue that with regular gouache, you should just add white, you know, and then, you know, custom mix your own colors. But again, with acrylic gouache, I feel like it's a different game. It's a different ball game. So yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm done trying to justify myself. I love that I have all these colors, but now I have to swatch them all. So let's do it. Yeah, Rocket has been very, yeah. Martel, great question. Is this the same gouache as jelly gouache? No, it is not. So, well, hold on. Let me Google jelly gouache real quick. I'm pretty sure that jelly gouache is regular gouache. Yeah, I think jelly gouache is regular gouache. So that just means that you can wake it back up. You can reactivate with water, right? So like regular gouache. But with acrylic gouache, because it has acrylic properties, you know, once it's dried, it's water resistant, it's plastic, you know, so it has polypropylene. I think that's right, polypropylene. Yeah, what's another huge benefit of, I'm losing my words, a huge benefit of acrylic gouache is that there's no color shift. So I definitely want to test that when I'm swatching today. So no color shift just means that the color that you put down on paper is going to be consistent when it's dried. And that's huge because when you're trying to do color mixing or trying to test colors, you don't want to have to wait for it to dry to see what color it ends up being. So with watercolors, the colors tend to dry lighter because water is a huge component of the paint, and water is transparent, and so it tends to dry lighter. And that's why with watercolors, you know, we're always layering on top of each other to get, you know, deeper, more saturated colors. With gouache, it tends to dry darker. So yeah, again, it just takes a little bit of learning, but with acrylic gouache, apparently that doesn't exist. So we'll see. And in case you're wondering, the brand that I'm using all throughout today is Holbein. And yes, I am an ambassador for Holbein, but that just means that I love their products. They actually didn't send any of this to me for free. So I bought all of this with my own money. But I know I love their brand, and so I'm just excited to try it out. So let's get into it. Okay. So I wanted to try also a different setup for today. Hello. So I wanted to see if this is any better. I know, hold on a second. Let me just get the focus right. I know it's a little smaller in this area, but I don't know, maybe I thought you might want to see my whole face, but I'm just testing it today. I'm just testing different things today. So let's just see how it goes. Sorry, let me get my phone set up. But how was everyone's weekends? Is everyone doing good? Yeah. I'm so excited for this. I mean, again, I will admit I am very nervous. So if you're watching this and you're curious about acrylic gouache, I'm so glad you're here. I also wanted to let you guys know that I got these brushes for really cheap at Hobby Lobby. So I got these. So these are the Princeton Summit. And I got these 5 brushes. Look how cheap they are. So this one was originally $12 and it's on sale for $3. So do the math, that's 75% off, right? So I was like, what? So I just had to get these colors, and I They're for watercolor and acrylic. And when I was looking at reviews online, a lot of people actually use these for acrylics because they're a little bit bouncier, meaning that they tend to hold their shape a little bit better. They tend to bounce back into place. So I was like, oh, that's really helpful to have when you're working with acrylics, because with watercolors, you want it to really like move, you know, really effortlessly and fluidly. But with acrylics, I mean, I think acrylic gouache is kind of fluid, but yeah, you want to have some level of control over it. So anyway, yeah, so let me go ahead and bust these open too. So I just thought I would do all of this live because some of you guys watch these kinds of videos online and, you know, it's like super sped up and, you know, and that's cool. But I think it's also kind of nice to just chat. So this is a 1/2 inch angle shader. And then I think sometimes when you watch those videos, and I'll admit, I edit these parts out too, but we kind of skip the unboxing sometimes. And then people are wondering like, wait, where do you put this? And what did you do with that? And you know what I mean? So I'm just going to show you all the nitty gritties so that you get the full experience. And also, if you've never done a paint swatch before, then this is your chance to, you know, see how I do it and see if that's something that you want to do. Okay. Acrylic gouache definitely dries a little bit brighter than regular gouache, at least from the examples that I've seen. Okay, so here are my brushes. Okay, hot take. Do you guys keep these little plastic things on the brushes? Yes or no? I have questions on that sometimes because I'm like, I don't usually keep them because sometimes they're sort of hard to put back on. So you guys tell me, do you keep the little plastic caps or not? I'm just going to set them aside for now. Hi, Keith. No. So, yeah, great question. Did I change the live stream date? So it kind of depended on my schedule and I wanted to be consistent. And this month I have some workshops on Wednesdays. And so Mondays was really the only weeknight that I could be consistently live. So I didn't want to like change everything up on you guys. So, cause that's confusing and that's not fair to you, you know, so I wanted to be consistent. So for the whole month of May, I will be live on Mondays. So I am going to use just a regular piece of paper and a jar of water. That's pretty consistent with my other setups. And I'm using cold press watercolor paper. So that's pretty consistent as well. So let's start with that primary set, or not the primary set, the set of 12, the very first set that I ever bought. Oh my goodness. Okay, Marta, they ruin the brush if you try to put it back. Exactly, yes. Okay, so sorry, back to the plastic caps. Exactly, so sometimes, because sometimes the little bristles are like, you know, a little bit frayed. And so when you try to put it back in, you might end up, you know, splitting the hairs even more. So yeah, so I am team throw out the cap. Okay, so I have a round 2 brush. I bought a size 3 brush and a size 4. So I bought smaller round brushes because with acrylic gouache, again, they dry fast. So I didn't want a huge brush that will hold a lot of paint and then it'll start drying on the brush, you know, so I didn't want that. So I figured if I have smaller brushes, I will paint smaller things and I will use less paint, or I will use less paint in a session, like per session. So yeah, I did this on purpose. I did get this larger 1/2 inch angle shader only because if I want to paint a background, I do need to do that kind of quickly, right? So I did get that for this. So what's really important with these brushes is that you're going to have to wash them, very thoroughly afterward, because again, if you have any pieces of acrylic that's dried on there, you want to make sure that you remove it. Otherwise, it is going to ruin your brushes over time. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm not a huge fan of this layout. Let's go back to this. Haha. I just feel like you probably want to see more of this angle, so I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, so there are 12 colors here. So other things that I'm going to do for my swatch, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more. So I am going to use a Sharpie to test the opacity, or the level of opacity. Oh, wait, hold on. So I'm actually going to use just a giant piece of Amazon cardboard and put this on my desk, because I realize that as I swatch, I might go beyond the paper and I don't want to paint my desk accidentally. So I'm going to put everything on this Amazon cardboard. I don't know why I had to say Amazon. It's just a cardboard box. Nothing fancy. Okay. Yeah, because I want to paint like this whole sheet of paper. So if that's the case, then I want to make sure that I don't paint my desk. So I'm going to use the Sharpie and I'm just going to draw a line at the top. And again, this will help me kind of test the opacity. See, I already drew on my desk or on my work surface. I should have done this beforehand, but I didn't get a chance to. So I'm just going to do it now. But yeah, I do want to chat, so let me know how you guys are doing. My weekend and morning was kind of exciting because over the weekend I received my first wholesale order and I was like, what the what? I had posted my shop on this wholesale website for, several months, probably the same time that I opened my shop in September. So it's been almost half a year. And, I didn't get any bites, so I was like, okay. But I also didn't do a really good job of marketing, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kind of let that be, and I completely forgot about it, and I forgot to update some things. And then, of course, when you forget, when you completely forget about something, that's when somebody orders, right? So that's what happened. And I was like, oh, shoot. But then at the same time, I was just so grateful, So they ordered like almost everything that is tulips. So all of my tulip stickers, all of my tulip greeting cards. So I was just like really thankful. So I was just working on that order today. I printed out, like, look at all the stickers that I printed out today, and then greeting cards, and then some other stickers. So yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys, I kind of regret this. This is going to take forever. This might end up being like a really, really long live stream, but you don't have to stay here for all of it, obviously. But I do want to do this all in one sitting, because if I don't, I'm not going to finish it. Like, I just know myself. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Keith. Yeah, that is a big deal. Thank you. Yeah, it was really, it was a nice surprise. Yeah. And so that just means that some store out there in America is going to have my stuff. And that's so exciting. I always was kind of jealous of like the other artists that, was able to use the hashtag, so-and-so in the wild. And you do that when you see some of their artwork. you know, on display or in somebody's shop. And I was like, oh, now I can be one of those people. I mean, it's just one store, but you know, we all have to start somewhere, right? Okay, so I lied. So this really is going to take forever, but I will do at least, it also depends on how tired I am because I am a little tired, but I will do at least this 12 color set. And then if I have more energy, then maybe I'll do the primary set since that's only 5 colors. And then I'll go from there. I think once I get going with the colors, it'll maybe go a little faster or it'll feel more fun. Right now, this is just kind of repetitive. So that's why I'm getting kind of bored, but this is also very necessary. I also could have used my color paint diary, but I kind of wanted to try this way because there's another artist who uses a lot of acrylic gouache. Her name is Alana Cartier, and she and I are both Skillshare teachers, and we just kind of became like, you know, like online friends. And oh, I love it when I like do it at almost the same spot. It's just like so satisfying. Okay, anyway, so she and I were really talking about, you know, acrylic gouache, and she does something like this where she has little paint chips, and she just kind of, you know, whenever she wants to paint something, she just kind of thumbs through her paint chips and she's like, I wonder how these colors will look together, you know, so she just kind of lays them down. So I like that idea instead of having all of the colors in some stationary place. So I like the idea of these like little cards so that I can kind of move them around. So yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Oh, do I have big plans for Mother's Day? No, I do not. So my mom is in Korea. My husband's mom is also in Korea. And well, my husband's grandmother is here, so we might, you know, just see her for a little bit. Yeah, and I'm not a human child's mom. I'm just a pet mom and a plant mom for now. Yeah. Okay, so this is, I never know like exactly what to write. I mean, I'll definitely write, let's see, D003. You know what? Let's pull out that brochure. Where'd that brochure go? Because I want to always write like relevant information. Okay. Ooh, look at these pretty colors. All right. So, all right, I think I should write the D and the digit numbers just because that's the identifier that Holbein uses. I don't see a pigment color or pigment. Oh, it's interesting. So they have this, the Munsell color graph. I don't know exactly what to call it, but they have it divided into hue, value, and chroma. So I don't know if that's all super important, you know, that you can just find online if you need to. I don't think I need to add all that into my paint swatch. I think for now, I'll just use that D and the digits and then the actual name and then probably the brand just because, well, I mean, Holbein's really the only brand that I have, but yeah. Okay, let's do it like that. So yeah, no big plans for Mother's Day. I mean, I just have church in the morning and then probably just, I don't know, go out. Maybe, I mean, going out is always kind of hard because I'm sure it's really busy everywhere. But I'm sure we'll go somewhere nice. So I'm going to actually use the angular shader for this. And instead of using a palette, which that was something I was really scared of using, and I'll be honest, I still am kind of scared of using, but I'm just going to squeeze it right onto here. Big breath, here we go. I'm like so nervous, you guys. Okay. Ah, wow, this color is very bright. Very, very bright. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, that just really came out. It's very gooey. Oh boy. Okay, so this brush is not, you know, I'm just gonna wet it just a little bit, but then I'm going to blot it. Here we go. Oh, wow. Such, wow. Very smooth, very velvety. I'm just kind of trying to, I'm going to do it like this. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit of water and see what it looks like kind of watered down. Just see how it, yeah, like if it gets transparent at all. I mean, obviously if I add a lot more water, it will get more transparent, but it'll just be kind of interesting. Oh, like look at that. Very nice. Okay, my hands are going to get super messy. That's okay. So this is D002 Carmine. Beautiful. Let's set that aside. Okay, I'm gonna label it first this time. Let's be smart about this. Okay, Scarlet. How about you guys? What do you guys normally do for Mother's Day? I know, you know, brunch is always like a big thing. Oh my goodness, do you see that? It's just so gooey. I just want to squeeze out the tiniest dollop and it's just whoosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you definitely don't have to worry about like, yeah. I don't even like, it just came out so easily. The paint definitely spreads very nicely, even if I don't have any water on my brush. I am adding some more water now. Wow, that little dollop, yeah, it just goes a long way. Really goes a long way. Yay. See, look how messy this is. I knew this was going to happen. All right, so what's next? Deep yellow. D033. Deep yellow. I wish there was a way to like not have it spill out. I'm going to try to hold it maybe like this on this side so I don't have to use gravity. Oh, look at that. That was a nice small dollop. Okay, so something that I'm realizing so far, I know it's only been 2 colors, 2.5 colors, is that the colors are not as opaque as I maybe thought they were going to be. I don't know if that's just me, but I thought for some reason they might be more opaque. And I actually noticed this when I first used them at this workshop. So because I'm a brand ambassador for Holbein, I educate people on, you know, the properties of these paints, and then they send the supplies for people to try out. And so that's where I actually got to play around with acrylic gouache for the first time. And I was like, wait, why are they so, like, why are they kind of transparent? You know, like, look at that. Yeah. So, I don't know. That was just interesting. D034. Oh, look how bright this color is. Beautiful. It's like almost like neon. Yeah, but see, like, look how like lightly it spreads out. Like, I guess I just assumed that because it says acrylic, because it says gouache, like I just thought it was going to be more opaque. But I will say, even when it's watered down, like the vibrancy does not is not compromised. Yeah. Like even this last bit is watered down just, just slightly, but wow, it's still just as bright and saturated. Beautiful. Next, D062. Light green. And oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this pen that my friend gifted me. It's a little cat. Look at this. And you use the little tail part to click on and off the pen. Oh my gosh. So cute. Hi Rena, so glad you're here. Okay, small dollop. I've been wanting to do this, like in a video sometime, but like, I don't know. I was just letting, just myself get the best, my fears get the best of me. Okay, this color is definitely almost like a lot more opaque than the other one so far. Oh my gosh, look at this color. You know what's also really interesting? The way that you can see the brush strokes. I feel like I remember another artist mentioning that because it's acrylic, you can, see your brush strokes a little bit more. And so if you're not a fan of that, then you might want to, try something different. But yeah, you can kind of see the streakiness. And again, it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just a matter of personal preference. Rena, yes, swatching, very relaxing. I totally agree. I like to watch other people do it as well. And even as I'm doing it, I feel like I'm learning more about my paints. I'm just helping myself get over that fear of like, oh my God, I'm trying something new and it's really nerve-wracking, which it is, like, don't get me wrong, but this kind of helps me just get over that first hump. Okay, this is not the color. Okay, the color kind of seemed to separate a little bit, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But again, keep in mind, this is a probably 3 to 4 year old set that I haven't even touched. So maybe the colors did separate just a little bit, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, look at this color. Wow. Oh, wow, wow, wow. It's so deep. Like, it's such a deep green color. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Viridian because even with watercolors and gouache, I really only use this color to mix with. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan, but loving just how deep this color is. Okay, I kind of want to do a dry test real quick. So let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, this carmine's already dried and it's only been like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Yeah, it's already super dry. Wow, wow. And I feel like the color shift did not happen. Like the color is pretty true to how I first laid it down, right? You guys tell me, but I'm pretty sure this was the exact color that I put down. So that's very impressive. Here's a scarlet. Scarlet is like 90% dry. It's just a little damp in the areas where I added more water, but it's basically dry. The deep yellow is basically dry too. Yeah, wow. Oh, wow. I like leaf green too. I like leaf green because leaf green is more, I mean, if we're thinking about the same color, leaf green is more of a like a realistic green color, right? But Viridian is not. It's really meant to be mixed. So I like mixing Viridian with like burnt sienna or with red to get a beautiful gray color. But yeah, I rarely use Viridian on its own. Again, if you're wondering why I'm holding up the paper to squeeze out a dollop, it's because they're actually very gooey and very quite runny, or runnier than I thought they were going to be. And so I'm holding my paper sideways so that I don't squeeze out too much. Oh wow, this ultramarine blue is a lot more opaque than I thought it was going to be. Because sometimes the ultramarine blue, like in watercolor, oh, this is so thick. In watercolor is not as, it's usually not as opaque. Yeah, but even watered down, okay, just like gouache, I can see myself really liking acrylic gouache. I think I just need to be a little bit smarter and be more strategic about how I paint, because with watercolor, I can take my sweet old time. I don't need to worry about, you know, mixing colors, right? But with, yeah, with acrylic gouache, it's a whole nother ball game. So I think I need to do a little bit more research on how to, you know, like be smarter about that. I think one way to do that is to have a set palette or color palette that you kind of, you know, gravitate towards and tend to use a lot. I think you can start with that, or do like intentional color studies at a time so that, you know, you're, again, only using a couple colors at a time. I thought this sky blue was going to be a little bit lighter. I mean, it's still beautiful. I just thought it was going to be lighter. I mean, obviously when you add water, then it gets lighter. I wonder how many acrylic gouache artists actually add water to their paint, you know, or to their brushes. I'm just wondering. So if you, again, use acrylic gouache, let me know. Do you actually, you know, add water? Do you just use it, you know, purely and not add any water? Because looking at how gooey it is, I feel like you don't necessarily have to add water. Yeah. The acrylic gouache is definitely one that you want to use the Stay Wet palette with. So I recently just cleaned my Stay Wet palette so that I can use it for this series. Look how like saturated my paper towel is already. Oh wow, even this purple is very, very opaque too. All right, just a couple more colors in this 12 set, you guys. You hanging in there with me? Hanging in there? Okay, burnt sienna. If you're still with me, please make sure to give this video a like. I really do my best to, you know, give you guys value and, you know, just, you know, a good time. So yeah, pushing that like button will help so that other people can find me too. Oh my gosh, do you see how opaque this is? Like I can't even see that black line anymore. Oh wow. Okay, so I don't know if it's just, I mean, I did it the same way as the other paints. Like you can barely see that, right? I mean, the more you spread it out, obviously, the thinner it slightly gets, but yeah, wow. Yeah, so one thing that I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to is just how streaky my brush strokes are. You know, I mean, I hope I'm not using them incorrectly. Like I felt like the first couple that I did, I mean, this one you can definitely see the hard edge between the dark one or the dark value and this one. But I felt like the streaky lines were less obvious in the first couple. So I don't know if I was just not doing it right. But yeah, it's like starting in the light green, you can really start to see the striations and yeah. I mean, again, not a huge deal, but I'm just curious. I'm like, oh, I can actually see the brush strokes. Okay, two more in this set. Obviously black is going to cover up that Sharpie line, but let's still do it. So this is jet black. I'm curious because in my primary set, you know, obviously there's a black too. I'm curious if like the information that's on here. Oh, okay. So see the value is here on the jet black is 1.5. I don't know if you can see this, but, and then the value on primary black is 1.8. Now, I don't know exactly what all of that means, but if it's a bigger number, I feel like it's going to be more, I don't know, like have more like have more value? No. Be more opaque? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see exactly what that means. I'm gonna have to do some research and look up exactly what that means. But yeah, that's really the only difference between the two. Now sometimes black will have like multiple colors mixed in because it might be like a variation of a gray. So yeah, that can happen. But I think, again, I don't know if there's pigment information. Okay, so this is just PBK1. So yeah, that is just pure pigment. But sometimes, yeah, there are other pigments mixed in. And again, obviously this is going to cover up this black line. This paint is a little, or this color, or this paint consistency is a little bit stickier than the other ones. All right. Last but not least, we've got titanium white. Yeah, so I have a primary white here too. So, okay, so here the values are exactly the same, and they're both PW6. So I think I have the exact same color, but I think they just called it different things. But I think what my friend said, Alana, who's the acrylic gouache artist, was she said something about the primary whites, I think, or the primary colors, like the colors actually say primary on them. I think she said that they are more transparent. I think that's what she said. So I wonder if that's the case. If that's the case, then maybe this one, which doesn't say primary, will be more opaque. We shall see. Ooh, it is pretty opaque. I mean, look at that. The black line is basically gone. I mean, it would be good to kind of do a test between the titanium white and the primary white, just side by side. Oh shoot, some of the black got on my paper. Ah, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, it basically fades into nothing, so that's good enough. All right. Well, that's the whole primary, or I keep saying primary, but that's the basic colors set. So we've got titanium white, jet black, let's see, burnt sienna, violet, sky blue. Zoom out just a little. And we've got Viridian, light green, lemon yellow, deep yellow, scarlet, and carmine. All right. Yeah, these are like such bright, vibrant colors. I really think that, you know, if you're just starting out with acrylic gouache or just any kind of paint, like you do want to have like basic colors like this, you know. I do think because the acrylic gouache is a little bit special because the color shift doesn't happen, and like you actually don't necessarily need to mix your colors, but I think it's important to still see all the colors mixed together. So I did make a couple color wheels, which of course I forgot to grab, but I think having this primer set will be a good investment. So I'll definitely try to do a video with just this set. I did do a color wheel video with my regular gouache, but I think it'll be good to do it with this one because the color shift doesn't happen. And you know, even more so, it's important to know how to mix white and black with your colors. So yeah. All right, you guys, that was like almost an hour. Like I said, this is going to take forever. So next week, I'll swatch the other colors and then we'll go from there. Or maybe I'll just kind of crank them all out tonight. I'm not sure, but I will definitely keep you guys up to date. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to leave this here. Yeah. I don't know what else I can do right now just because, yeah, it's getting late. I'm getting a little tired, but yeah, thank you for sticking through with me. And let me see if I can like hold them all up to do my little screenshot. Let's see. How many cards can I hold on one hand? 5, 6. Okay. I think 6 is pretty good. All right. Okay, I'll do it like this. Then I'll try to hold the other ones in my other hand. Oh, this is going to be so hard. Let me just try to fan them all out and then pick it up. All right, so here's one. This is when I wish I had an assistant, because then they can help me. There we go. All right, so this will be my screenshot. Yay! All right, you guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Next Monday is when I'll be live again. You guys are the best. Please make sure to push like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can follow me on my acrylic gouache journey. And remember, this month is all about doing something that is hard, you know, something that you've been procrastinating on. And it can be anything. It can be from, you know, just trying to drink more water in your day, you know, to going on walks more often, or taking more breaks, or whatever that is. If you've been procrastinating on it and not doing it, the time is now. Yeah. So let's do it together this month and share about our journeys together. I'll see you guys next month or next week. Bye.